like to call to order the Enfield Inland Wetlands and Watercourse meeting for December 19th, 7 p.m. Can I have a pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Fire evacuation, emergency procedures. If there's an emergency in the building, we can go out the door to my left, down the stairs and away from the building, or the door in the back, out the door and away from the building. Roll call, please.
Donna Corbin-Savinsky.
Here.
Kevin Zorda.
Here.
Virginia Higley. Here. Ann Collins.
Here.
Nancy Martin.
Here.
Chris Renaud.
Here.
Kelly Hemler.
Here.
7 present. So public communication and petitions. We have, before we start, I wanted to say welcome Kelly Hemler back to the team in the Wetlands. She was on it before and was voted back in yesterday. So glad to have you back.
Thank you.
And we also have another gentleman, Dylan Bridge, who's not here, was also not appointed back onto the committee. So hopefully we'll see him in January. So public communications and petitions. Is there anybody that would like to speak regarding items not on the agenda? Anybody want to speak on items not on the agenda? And one last time, anybody want to speak on items not on the agenda? Seeing none. Correspondence? I have none. I'm guessing, George, you'll want to talk about this during your...
Oh, that's just the new calendar for next year.
Okay, thank you.
And did you see Chris Renaud, or did I miss that?
No.
Oh, okay.
All the full members are here, so we wouldn't be able to see them, unfortunately. Next is the minutes of the December 5th.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of Tuesday, December 5th, 2023.
Second.
Judy seconded. Do we have any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Donna Corbin-Savinsky.
Yes.
Kevin Zorda.
Yes.
Virginia Higley. Yes. Ann Collins.
Yes.
Nancy Martin.
Yes.
Kelly Hemler.
Abstain.
5 in favor, 1 abstain, motion passes. We have no town attorney report. We have no continued public hearings. We have no new public hearings. We have no old business. Brings us to new.
Excuse me, Madam. Excuse
Okay.
me.
Hold on.
Just one more thing. Just want to go back to that. You could seat him in place of Rob/Dylan. In the meantime, if you wanted to, then you'd have a full quorum of 7.
Oh, thank you for
Because
telling
right
me
now
that.
you have 6. I was confused.
Oh, yeah, thank you for telling me that. So we could see, yeah, we'll see Chris.
I'm in.
Okay, thank you. That's great. Okay, perfect. New business, AAA number 134, 6 Park Avenue and 809 Enfield Street. Application for an agent approval. Request for the expansion of outdoor display. GJWSJ LLC, applicant owner, map 29, lot 71 and 72, BG-zone. Hi. Good evening. How you doing today?
Hi, Gary Rome from Gary Rome Kia across the
Hi.
street. Just want to say hello and thank you for hearing this, and I'm available to answer any questions that you might have.
Perfect.
For the record, Dana Steele, professional engineer with J.R. Russo and Associates, office at 1 Shoham Road in East Windsor. Thank you. And we're here this evening with the agent approval request for 6 Park Ave. Gary Rome Kia has purchased the property and would like to remove the structure there and expand their parking. It's a pretty small site, and so this piece just kind of fills in the corner and kind of completes the block area there. Show you. So property is located at the corner of Park Ave and Enfield Street, Route 5. And existing property here on sheet 3 shows 6 Park Ave here. The house is at this eastern end of the property. North is to the left on the plan. And so this is going to be expanded and filled in to complete this this property. The wetlands, town wetland map shows the wetlands on this property coming up close to 6 Park Ave, though it's not actually on the property, and even shows it wetlands going through the parking lot. This site was built back in the 20s, so I mean there was no wetland regulations back then, and if it were being built today, it probably couldn't do it.
Right.
So, but nonetheless, the building exists. Mr. Rome purchased the property and has been using it for his car dealership, would like to expand into this area. There probably are still, in the areas that aren't developed, still wetlands there. So there are still some wetlands in the vicinity, but we're not proposing to remove any vegetation. It's just a residential lot, fenced in, just lawn area. So there's really no habitat area that's really benefiting that wetland. So we're just going to be cleaning it up and expanding the parking so that it encompasses this area. So putting landscape plantings around the perimeter and a stockade fence, some lighting to light up the area, and that's about it.
Thanks. Did you have anything?
So it's a pretty straightforward application. The only thing that I think is important to mention is that for prudent and alternatives considered, the reason why they can't really touch anything with the building is because of the current and existing environmental land use restriction. There are contaminated soils underneath the building, but by keeping everything as is, keeps those soils stable and prevents any potential risks to human and environmental health. So the fact that they're expanding onto the residential property instead of working on the current site is good. There's no proposed direct wetland impacts. The only recommendation I had just for the wetlands in the vicinity was to add hoods or shields onto the lighting. That way it prevents light pollution, since Enfield is a dark sky community. And then there was one engineering comment. Although there is an increase in proposed impervious area, this site is in the lower reaches of the watershed, and detention is not recommended. Some proposed grading, spot grades should be shown on the site plan to indicate which direction the proposed parking area will sheet flow, and then a detailed cross-section for the proposed bituminous curbing section on Park Ave should be added to the plan details. Those could easily be added to final plans if the applicant and his representative are okay with those two things.
Yep. We're okay.
So that would be 3 site specifics, and that is all I have to report.
Thank you. Anybody to my right have any? No. To my left? Questions, concerns? No? Okay. Yeah.
I will make a motion to authorize agent approval for AAA number 134 6 Park Ave and 809 Enfield Street. Application for an agent approval request for the expansion of the outdoor display area, GJWSJ LLC, applicant owner, map 29, lots 71 and 72 BG zone, with site-specific conditions to be added. Final plans will include a detailed cross-section for the proposed bituminous curbing section on Park Ave. Number 2, final plans will include proposed grading spots to show the direction of sheet flow on the site. And number 3, lighting shields will be used on any lighting.
Second.
Jenny? We got a first and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Donna Corbin-Sapinski.
Excuse me, yes?
Kevin Zorda.
Yes.
Virginia Higley, yes. Ann Collins.
Yes.
Nancy Martin.
Yes.
Chris Renault.
Yes.
Kelly Hemler.
Yes. 7 in favor, motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Yes, you too.
Happy New Year.
Have a nice holiday.
See you next year.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next on our agenda is IW 694 10-Wheeler Drive, application for a wetland permit for the installation of a retaining wall. Daniel Smith, applicant owner, map 80, lot 165, LOD R33 zone. Welcome, gentlemen. Could you state your name and address for the record?
Yes, good evening, Madam Chair, members of the commission. This
Attorney Carl Landolina representing the applicant. Dan Smith, who's seated to my right.
Yep.
May recall a few months ago, maybe 2 or 3 months ago, we were in here in response to either a notice of violation or a cease and desist, I forget which, that had been issued by Mr. Richelli as your wetlands agent regarding a project that had been started on 10-Wheeler Drive. We had a brief discussion at that time. You asked us to come back in with an application. In the interim, we wanted to make sure that we could place the wall where we wanted to, and without going into much detail, rather than argue the issue with the zoning enforcement officer or the ZBA, we decided just to apply for a variance. We thought we had an argument that this was a non-conforming structure, but be that as it may, so we decided to take that route, and we did get a variance last month. As far as zoning is concerned, we're allowed to encroach into the 10-foot setback on the southerly side of the property. So we didn't want to apply for a wetlands permit until we were sure where the wall was going to be located.
Right, makes
So
sense.
here we are. So the wall has what I would call an interior footing. Typically, when you build a retaining wall like this, you'd have the footing would be on the exterior of the wall, and that's where the fill would be placed. In order to maintain the wall, structurally maintain the wall, we couldn't put the footing on the exterior side because that would encroach into the neighbor's property, the Gatton property, and the size of the footing to put the wall in its previous location would have required digging up a lot more material because there's a slope there, and then the wall kind of holds up that property on the south side. So what's listed as a slab is actually the footing for the wall. So it's not going to be like something's going to be placed there. Material is going to go on top of that. The earth material, which is now stored on the site, is going to be put over that because it's nothing more than a footing. All right. So so there will be a sloped on the inside as well as the outside. On the fill side, it'll be sloped down towards towards Shaker Pond. So that'll have a slope on it as well, and there'll be no structures on top of that.
Right.
And that's the size. Mr. Smith is in the concrete business, so he had an engineer calculate. When you're dealing with an interior footing where the fill's not going to be, it needs to be a little bigger than it would be if you were on the exterior side. Less strength to hold up that wall in that position. Now we're holding it in from the inside, so it's got to be a little bit larger. So they calculated that was about the size necessary to maintain the integrity of both the part of the wall which is facing Wheeler Drive and the part of the retaining wall which is facing the Gatton property. It's slightly larger than it might need to be, but that would require a sort of a cutout there, which is easier just to pour what's there in the flat rectangular shape. So that's it. We have seen the comments from staff. I believe that John did submit something in advance of tonight, which is,
Yep.
I think when you wrote it wasn't there to begin with, but it's there now.
Yep, I believe he was waiting for more details on the plans for like a cross-section of the retaining wall
Right.
and more details about the wall.
Right.
Since we're talking about revised plans really quick, they should be revised anyways, just to include the PE who helped the applicant with those wall calculations, as I have not seen that information for the retaining wall. And the site plan should include the 100-foot upland review area and a revised zoning table, just that way everything is correct. And then some extra silt fencing on the east side where the project is to be conducted.
So we've alerted our engineer, Mr. Ashelman, actually Steve, not Sandy. Sandy's semi-retired. You probably run into Sandy many times. So his son has sort of taken over for his father. He is aware of all of those requested changes. we don't have a revised plan to show you tonight, but, if you make that a condition of approval, we will certainly comply with that and whatever else staff feels is appropriate.
Okay.
So, we are certainly within, depending on, boundaries of ponds and water courses are hard to, so there's a tie line here, which is not actually the boundary line. It probably goes up to the edge of the pond. But the 100-foot setback or upland review area would be somewhere probably around the western side of the edge of the house. So where it says 20.5 feet on that wall, that's probably 100 feet from that. So we're clearly, within that.
That is correct. I can
yeah,
verify that.
That
Thank you.
setback.
Okay.
So we think with appropriate ENS controls, the additional ones that staff is asking for, we think, it's about a week project probably.
Week and a half.
Yeah.
Depending on the weather.
Yeah,
And
just
then
gonna say.
some of that pile will be taken and used to backfill that area. So the pile that you see, which is about located in the 100-year line, that little hill is the pile of dirt
That was-
came out of the hole.
Right.
So that'll go
It's gotta
back
go
in, and then everything will be sloped down, and then until the site is stabilized, the ENS controls will remain in place, and as will the bond. So that's our project.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions, concerns, thoughts? No? To my left? No. No, I didn't either. Good luck with it. I think it's definitely something you need to do.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. Can we have a-
All right, yep.
Wait, excuse me, real quick. Before you make the motion, I just want to clarify real quick for the record. The conditions Mr. Landolina proposed about having those, about the site plan B conditions, I recommend to continue the application for the next meeting until those official signed and sealed site plans have been submitted and the assistant town engineer has had a moment to review and sign off on them, just because you never really know what the plans are going to show, if anything needs to be removed or something has to be fixed. We're not even sure how much fill is being brought in as of yet. That's just my suggestion for this before you make a motion.
So we got plenty to talk about.
So I understand staff's concern about that. You mean another 2 weeks?
Yeah.
It's pretty fast. It's
January
January
2nd.
2nd, and it is pretty cold outside. I don't know if you can do groundwork right now if the ground is frozen.
Well, he thinks he can do
good.
the pouring. So I guess I'll leave that to you.
Just
We
do-
prefer a conditional approval right now so we can get started. Because part of his, and again, and we're not, this is, his own doing while we got here. But part of his foundation wall has been exposed for, a amount of time. We'd like to get this done in the next 2 weeks, but I'll leave that to you.
The other thing is the applicant can't start construction yet until the post-approval process has been satisfied anyways. So once a decision is made, there's a 15-day appeal period, and the applicant has to file their wetlands permit, get final plans in, which I'm not sure what the final plans will look like yet because we haven't seen the actual signed site plan just of yet. So that's my only comment.
Can we do an agent approval on this, and would that
No.
make it faster? No?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
The other thing is I'm just hesitant
Does he
to
buy-
approve an
does he
application
wanna
without the
take
town
action?
engineer having a chance to
Yeah.
view the
Right.
specifics of the wall. We've had a few seawalls in the past, a few retaining walls in the
Right, I
past,
remember.
and they've had PEs and full plans, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a question?
It was answered.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else have a question? That's too bad.
The actual structural plans by the engineer have been with the building department for months. So,
They weren't submitted with the wetlands application, so I was unaware of them.
I do need clarification, Georgie. So you're saying that if we wait until January 2nd, even if we approved it tonight, he would still have to wait 15 days
for the appeal period to pass and to complete his post-approval processes.
So then on January 2nd, he would then have to wait an additional
That's correct.
15 days?
And,
So we take it to the middle of
And
January.
the building department doesn't turn it around that fast.
well, the building permit has already been applied for, so I'm not sure what the status is because we don't cross-check the building permits versus our applications. But I can definitely find out, but my only hesitation is just not seeing an actual site plan and then making a motion on it.
But it was indeed submitted to the building department.
Yeah, months ago. When he actually, it's a long story, but probably 6 or 7 months ago, he submitted plans to the building department, and then things took a turn where he just started the project without anybody's
I recall.
approval.
Yeah,
So
I
everything's
remember
just
that.
been kind of in a stasis.
And we did advise him months ago that he would need wetlands approval, and I have that inquiry sheet.
No question about that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Right.
So-
You know it.
Thank you.
That's a tough one.
I think we should take staff's suggestion
Yeah.
and continue it. I know it's maddening, but 2 weeks goes by quickly.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Understood.
All right, I will make a motion to continue IW number 694 10-Wheeler Drive, application for a wetlands permit for the installation of a retaining wall. Daniel Smith, applicant, owner, map 80, lot 165, LOD zone.
Second,
So we have a continuation to January 2nd. That's unfortunate. Can I have any discussion? No? All right, roll call.
Donna Corbin Sabinski.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yes.
Kevin Zorda, yes. Virginia Higley, yes. Ann Collins.
Yes.
Nancy Martin.
No.
Chris Renault.
Yes.
Kelly Hemler.
Yes. Yes,
All right,
yes.
thank you.
Again,
See you in a couple
Sorry
weeks.
about that. See you in a couple weeks.
Merry
Yeah.
Christmas, Happy New Year.
Yes, you too. Happy holidays.
Yep.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for him. Feel bad.
I know, but they've been at it for a long time. 2 weeks isn't going to make that much difference, and we'll get what we need.
Yeah, hi. Next is AAA 135, 20 Burnham Street, application for agent approval request for an addition deck onto existing home. David Pollock, applicant owner, map 52, lot 242, R33 zone. Hi, could you state your name and address for the record?
Good evening, everyone.
Hi.
My name is David Pollock. This is my wife Charlene.
Hi.
And this is our contractor, Rich from Creative
Hi.
Enclosures.
Hi.
I reside at 20 Bourbon Street. And we have a home with a deck in our backyard and an above-ground pool. So we would like to replace the deck with a sunroom with a deck out to our pool. If you have any questions, we have our contractor here to answer them.
Perfect. Anything, George, you want to add?
Just make sure you press
Microphone?
the button when you speak, little red button. There you
Yeah,
go, now it's
red
on.
button should be on, yeah.
Now you tell me. Do I need to repeat anything?
This is pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
They're applying for a addition. It's about 525 square feet, so I can usually approve additions up to 800 square feet through the building permit process. However, because of the historic wetland layer on the town's GIS, I am not able to do so until we have that lovely reg amendment. So this was built in 1962. There's an existing pool there now, and he's just basically adding on to it. And as an agent approval application, we'll keep a close eye on it, make sure they have proper erosion and sediment controls, and that there's no disturbances to any adjacent properties or any potential wetlands that may exist.
Sounds good.
So the sunroom is being built where the deck is now, so, they'll be removing the deck and
Yeah, turning into.
That's not the wetlands. The
No, no, no.
wetland isn't there.
Yeah.
That's my house.
Yeah, yeah.
The wetland is off
Yeah.
to the side and down.
Yeah, and, it's been, the property was built before wetlands regulations, so it's probably not longer existing as wetlands anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
But I had the girl come out and make sure
Yeah.
for my pool, because
Yeah.
I wanted a pool. and decided that was it. I wasn't going anywhere. I didn't want to drive anywhere.
Pools are good.
She came out about 3 times because I wanted her to see where it was going to be.
Yeah.
And it is kind of in the center of the property.
Uh-huh.
And do you got the drawings?
Yeah,
Oh, good, because I drew them.
yeah. I think we do. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I think everything will be fine.
Because
Yeah.
where the
Yeah.
pool is, and on the other, next to the pool, there's a hot tub, and there's my house, and all that isn't wet.
Yeah, yeah, you're gonna be fine. Yeah, I think you'll be fine.
Defined by soil
Yeah.
type.
I think you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will make a motion to authorize agent approval for AAA. Am I on the right one?
Yeah, you're on the right one.
AAA 13520 Burnham Street, application for an agent approval, request for an addition deck onto the existing house. David and Charlene Pawlak, applicant owner, map 52, lot 242, R33 zone.
Second.
Okay. Do we have any discussion to my right? No, or my left? Seeing none, roll call?
Donna Corbin Zabinski.
Yes.
Kevin Zorda.
Yes.
Virginia Higley, yes. Ann Collins.
Yes.
Nancy Martin.
Yes.
Chris Renault.
Yes.
Kelly Hemler.
Yes. 7 in favor, motion passes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you for
Thank
everything
you,
you've done as well.
Yeah, no
And you're all
problem.
invited for a swim next summer.
Perfect.
Careful what you ask for.
Now we have the room, though.
That's all right.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good luck with your project.
Happy holidays.
Yes, happy holidays. And our next one, XIW 23-02 Freshwater Pond, are coming in January.
Yes, so you should make a motion to table it.
Motion to continue.
I will make a motion to continue XIW number 23-02 freshwater pond location, applicant for a permit for maintenance project of the freshwater pond forebay, town of Enfield, applicant owner.
Second.
Okay. Got a motion and a second. Any discussion?
No.
Seeing none, roll call?
Donna Corbin
Yes.
Zabinski. Kevin Zorda.
Yes.
Virginia Higley, yes. Ann Collins.
Yes.
Nancy Martin.
Yes.
Chris Renault.
Yes.
Kelly Hemler.
Yes. 7 in favor, motion passes. So we'll see them January 2nd. That means we have a meeting January 2nd.
Yep.
Next is our enforcement reports.
Nothing to report.
Okay. Planning staff,
Nothing to report.
nothing to report. Okay. Applications to be received?
None being received.
Hey. Sure. Okay, miscellaneous. Anything on miscellaneous? Anybody to my left have anything, or everybody right?
No miscellaneous.
So I just had a couple is, let's look at the website. So the master packet for September 5th still isn't showing?
Okay, I'll make sure that's up.
Okay. And since we have new members, the nice list that you give us with the open permits, could you give it to
Yes,
us again?
yes.
Perfect. I guess for the open enforcements, I'll reach out to,
Oh, I do have an update, actually. I'm sorry. I
Kevin, I was
apologize
gonna
for
say.
that. It just
Lori
occurred to
Whitten.
me. A couple of meetings ago, you had requested for Nikki Castings
Yeah.
to be referred down
Oh,
to town
yeah.
attorney. And it has been referred down since they're in the middle of a town attorney switch. I am not sure which town attorney is going to be handling the case. And when we find out, I'll let you know as soon as I know.
perfect, thank you. Yeah, so open enforcement list, I'll reach out to Lori Whitten maybe? Is that, to see if we get it?
Yeah, I believe Rick was working on something. I can double check with him.
Okay.
He should be done, but don't quote
Okay.
me on that. I'm not sure what his workload has been like.
Yeah, okay, perfect, thank you.
I will make a motion to adopt.
Well, no. Yeah, so then there's
That's
one more is, so I was over on Post Office Road, Oliver Road, and there was some property on Oliver, when you go down Post Office to Oliver, and you take a, right onto Oliver, there's some property there, I think it was number 75, went and looked on the GIS. Well, there was some wetland flagging going on, and then I went by later on, and some of the flags are missing now. They're not there. But supposedly on the GIS, It's town-owned, so do we know what's going on over there?
Actually, that is in the process of being sold. There's a condition before purchase and sales goes through where the applicant wants to get wetlands approval prior to the sale going through. The last time I spoke to him, he said within 30 days we should receive an application for a single-family home. I have not had anything submitted yet. I do know they've been doing surveying and soil sampling out there, but that's all I know.
Okay, so we're going to be getting the permit?
Yes, you will be getting it soon. I'm just not sure when.
Excuse me, perfect, okay. Our next meeting is January 2nd, and Kevin and Nancy aren't going to be here?
I'll let you know if that changes.
Okay, is there anybody else, or everybody else plans on being here? Okay, perfect.
If anything comes up and you need me to go on Zoom or whatever, I'm available for that.
Okay, perfect, okay, now. And
All right. Sure.
yeah,
Okay. I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion adjourned at 7:30.